Onward.
I think
5 seconds remaining.
Two guys that you were just terrified to go up against in lane, and he's still quite a good mid player, so. Two guys that you were just terrified to go up against in lane, and he's still quite a good mid player, so. Should be able to find it, just trying to keep the vision so that way B-Tune gets the first blood.
yeah, not too uncommon when you have strong first blood potential like this between three heroes to just sit there. So Sweden Strong stays around with his Tusk, make sure he is able to get that blood, and then he goes bottom lane.
Two guys that you were just terrified to go up against in lane.
A bad start here.
A good mid player, so
going towards the side of Na'Vi, and
should be able to find it, just trying to keep the vision so that way B-Tune gets the first. For the time being, seems like Anna's having a great time because they can simply do this. They can throw out the fissure, they can put some harass over on Sweet and Strong.
Oh, that is not
have
okay.
To be aware.
Losing those Eidolons there, just a fissure and flat cannon, the Eidolons dying, it's huge. You're not allowed to feed the Eidolons to Gyrocopter. It's a tough matchup and it's hard not to lose them, but he has to try and keep them alive. Because those last hits, they give a lot of extra golden experience the way of Gyrocopter. And then you lose the effect of having Enigma. Usually you have Enigma, it means the enemy carry is going to get less golden experience. But if you lose a few of them to a fissure and flak like that, then you offset that impact.
So I do see a little bit of that side pull here in the top lane. Gonna try to contest it. They don't want to allow this to get too comfortable for them. Water runes are up though, and it looks like each one will be able to secure themselves this rune. Both of them having their bottles already here in the mid lane, so nothing too crazy yet. But of course, I think people are more concerned about just, you know, solidifying their lanes for the time being and getting some more levels before they make any more big plays.
Yeah, I mean, Na'Vi got that little bit of advantage on top lane, getting the first blood and then rotating out. So their top lane is already doing quite good. But last hits, the Drow Ranger is a bit behind the Gyrocopter still, because Zephyr and Cuckoo have really been contesting last hits together. They're synergizing their attacks here to try and deny the Drow a little bit of a farm.
In that nice aggression, you throw the shards out, but they've got the homing missile, the flat cannon coming in strong. Not to be quiet enough to finish off the Enigma, but enough that he's gonna have to play very carefully now and sit back. While this goes on, we end up losing Cuckoo yet again in the top lane. Zephyr trying to put out as much damage as he can, but it is proving to be a bit difficult all by himself, despite having that tomb dropped.
Yeah, he tried to drop the tomb when they dove under tower, but I don't know, maybe Soul Rip could have saved him if he walked away, but he was looking for a kill as well. Going to turn it around.
We have a fissure here in the bottom lane. Whitemon throwing it out. Need to get just a little bit more damage. Not sure if they're going to be able to... Oh, no. Oh, no, he's trying, but we'll end up backing off.
Yeah, stay safe. This is really a well-played lane so far by T1. They're not relying much on pulling. They're just playing the lane together with the Gyrocopter and the Shaker, and the two of them are just stronger at this stage. Mid lane coming in.
Nice play here. Whitemon making the rotation, has the fissure. They need just a little bit more damage because they don't have the scatter blast up just yet. The cookie, they're gonna use the cookie top, but it's a little bit deep here under the tower. Thompson has to be careful. He's sitting low, is forced to use the fairy fire. Shards will come into play, won't be able to quite do enough as Whitemon will walk away after Sweden Strong makes his rotation towards that mid lane.
That raindrop MVP on no one. He blocks twice with it, so he manages to stay alive on like 70 HP. Very nice. He's not doing too bad so far, but Snapfire is winning the mid lane. She has a little bit better CSing so far. And of course, Shaker coming in is a tough gank for Ember to deal with until he gets level 6.
He's waiting patiently here too. It's just gonna go for a casual deward, but that should make no one like a little bit more cautious, knowing that he's waiting. And you see Sweet and Strong is hanging out down by the bottom room spot. Just gonna provide a little bit of support for their cores here. Although Shaker sees himself a courier, he's gonna get a nice little snipe. So will be rewarded for his patience.
Yeah, patience from Sweet and Strong as well, who's sitting around. He wants a kill on Thompson, but not gonna find it yet. He gets found by Whitemon. They just kind of walk away from each other. I'm watching bottom lane as well, by the way. While they're rotating away from bottom, Ana has been doing really well still against the Enigma here. He's gotten more kills on the Eidolons, and yeah, this lane's starting out fantastic for T1.
Another fissure. Don't use the snowball. Wait patiently. Dodge out that missile. Cards coming in, not going to be able to go and block anybody off here, but they still go and just eat up these Eidolons like you talked about. And they can't afford to keep losing these or give them to the gyrocopter. Ana's already having a great time. Pyro.
Pop some hard trade on top, but nobody really dying. They walk away from the tombstone. Navi are going to be safe, but everyone kind of losing a lot of HP there. Tango's on the Drow though. She's going to get back HP. No one wins the rune trade.
Oh, and it's a regen rune. That feels so good when you're playing a spirit.
That's super nice.
So we have the Snapfire kisses, so looks like they're gonna try to do enough damage, but with Sweet and Strong here, it's not gonna end up working. Thompson now in trouble. Is taking a lot of damage here from the tower. Does have 8 of these wand charges. Is forced to pop them. And he's just barely gonna make it out with 40-something hit points.
Meanwhile, top lane, big chase.
Top lane, oh, and V2 and 2 running for his life. Cuckoo's gonna have that decay up in about 2 seconds. He should be able to go and finish off V2.
Yeah, I like the optimistic play by Thompson on mid lane, trying to get a kill on No One's Ember Spirit before he hits level 6. He didn't manage to get it, but that was only really because the Sweet and Strong was around, so no one felt he could man up, just go in and hit with the help of the Tusk. Thompson does make his way back to base though, and coming back refreshed after a little bottle refill.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting when you consider just how high octane both of these drafts are. That, you know, seeing a lot of skirmishing, but not a lot of deaths just yet. Although with Thompson making this rotation top, he does not have the Mortimer's Kisses, still down for about 50-something seconds. But we'll try to put the pressure down. They have the Tombstone available over on Cuckoo. We'll just drag the creeps over. And this does give a little bit of free time to No One here in the mid lane.
Yeah.
He can put some pressure, do a little bit of scouting too. As
bottom, Black Hole's available. They want to try for Terra.
They have to be so careful though. There's the call down. Try to put out as much damage. They're holding on to the fissure just in case. There it is. There is no black hole for you, my friend. As they'll put some more damage over onto Sweet and Strong and get themselves yet another kill.
That was patience from Whitemon there. He was sitting in a tree line, shaking his fissure, ready to drop it whenever. And they bait out the black hole and get the double kill here, getting both in the pos 4 and some damage onto the tower.
A little bit more pressure being placed on the mid lane. Looks like they tried to jump over onto Thompson, but with Zephyr making his rotation over, definitely did just back off for the time being. They realized, you know, we don't have to push this too hard. We can sit back, still continue. We've got, you know, chainmail that still needs to be picked up over on the Ember, and Thompson just working towards that Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, he wants early Aghanims, and he has great heroes in his team to send in. If we talk a little bit about Snapfire, she can really send in some dangerous targets. Ooh, a little bit of a fight. Tombstone drop.
Yeah, I'll go for the Starbreaker, but Solo just says, I know you don't have anything to cancel out this TP, not yet, so I'm gonna get out. And No One is just casually walking up, but they are gonna cross paths over here in the jungle. They're hunting, they're looking for V2, and he hasn't shown back up to the lane. But not gonna find too much over here.
Yeah, he's sitting far back, farming right next to his tier 2 tower, so pretty hard to find that kill. Meanwhile, they're leaving Sweet and Strong mid, getting some experience. Hobson doesn't want to allow that, so comes in and nukes him.
Does have the rest of the team nearby. Whitemon could go for the long-range fissure if needed. Still level 4 on the Winter Wyvern, though, so Not gonna see any big plays just yet. Yeah, there we go. Let's have the Cold Embrace. The fissure over onto Sweetenstung will slow down, but despite their best efforts with that, just flight vision there, not gonna be able to get away.
Right now we see both teams kind of just tucking their carries away into the jungle and farm. And T1 being a little bit more aggressive, going after, trying to get an angle for shutting down V-Tune's farm. Meanwhile, Ana is getting completely uncontested jungle farming here. He is the top net worth right now and has had a really strong laning stage. I would be a little bit concerned if I was Na'Vi and try to maybe find a rotation on him when you get to your level 6 on the supports.
Yeah, I was about to say, it definitely feels like we have not checked in with Ana in quite a while, so he's getting so much out of it. Still level 5 on Dawnbreaker, which I feel is very important that they pick up the trip outs. He's like, can't quite get through here. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll block your opponent, and you too. Block everything.
Well, at least, you know, it's not just Thompson, because I feel like you'd be very angry about that. That'd be griefing your team.
So big timing now. They have Dawnbreaker, Tome coming in, and now she's level 6, able to join on the side lanes. Make a rotation. I think Tusk needs to go somewhere and try and set up a gank, but maybe they want to fight mid.
I mean, that was what I was going to ask, is it better for them to get a smoke and try to gank Ana, and then have Solo join in using the ultimate? Or, I guess if you can get yourself V2, that's a pretty good deal, but we'll see no one teleport over to the mid lane. They're going to clean up these creeps, try to push them back.
Na'Vi are contesting this tower hard. They're not allowing T1 to take this building. Though T1, I mentioned in the draft, their tower pushing abilities are really bad. So Na'Vi, just by sitting around and kind of spamming their spells, they're protecting that tower. No tower has fallen at 11 minutes. The map is still locked. If you think about Dota, and when the towers start falling, that's like the map opening up and you get access to make more moves. We're seeing both teams kind of constrained here by the fact that they haven't taken any tier 1 tower yet.
It's interesting to know. You see that Sweetenstung making his way over. They use the Snapfire Kisses, though. We're on to the Tusk. The Snowball will connect eventually with Ana, but might have bit off a little bit more than he can chew, so they'll end up getting themselves a nice pick off.
Yeah, they're also going for the stack, going in and stealing the opponent's triangle here a little bit, and gonna check up, see that there's no stack on the Ancients yet. Of course, they have Gyrocopter themselves, so they could farm Ancients very quickly later on.
Can we call it a triangle still? I feel like we can't.
The biangle. Yeah.
I like that.
Sounds better.
Double damage on Thompson. He's got himself a Ember in his sights. Does have to be careful though. Sweetenstung is here. He's going to be able to throw out the shards, but still feel a little bit reluctant to go in because Zephyr's standing nearby, and now he has the Winter's Curse. So they need to be extremely careful how they start positioning. But so does Zephyr on the same side, because Solo does spot him over. Look here. Whitemon standing nearby does not have the 6 just yet. Does have the Fissure. They'll go in though using the Winter's Curse. Whitemon gonna try to help escort Zephyr out. The Snowball though coming into play, plus the Slight. It's enough to get the kill. Cuckoo though coming forward. They should be able to get the kill on Sweetenstung. As they drop that Tombstone, not gonna be able to get anything else beyond that.
They get the return kill. These are kind of non-consequential kills though, like you're not getting a big payoff. Nobody's getting a massive advantage from it, but no one, he wants more. He sees they can maybe kill the Shaper.
Does see it. There's the Fissure though, so walk away. Has hit that level 6, not going to quite land the Slight. Turns back around over to no one, but he immediately retreats using that Remnant.
Yeah. And we see T1 sort of taking a breather a little bit. They're farming jungle with Undying and Gyrocopter right now. Undying actually using Decay to farm triple stacked big camp there, so he finishes that up. And looks like he wants to go for the BKB shard play in this game. We've seen different builds on Undying. Yesterday we saw a Crimson Guard Radiance by Cuckoo, and he's gonna go for something else in this game.
I like it. I like seeing the dynamic builds and picking different things, but they are on the hunt now, as Na'Vi also smoked up. I think they're hoping to get the pick off over onto Ana. He is going to get spotted by no one, but I'm not sure if they're quite aware. Yeah, they're not aware at all, because they follow up with the Snapfire Kisses, but Solo, having that global capability, is going to be able to come in for the counter gig, and they're just going to end up losing Sweetenstung yet again. He has been the sacrificial lamb for Na'Vi.
you see how they bring everyone to these fights. They know that it's so important to try and win these early skirmishes and not allowing not to get shut down at all. He's still having a good game. They're protecting it, and he's farming with a Maelstrom too. So he's gonna get very, very farmed in this game if they're not able to land successful ganks on him.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And Lace just moving away these Eidolons, but I'm seeing the teleport come through. They do have the black hole. They get a little bit too close here. In fact, there are a couple heroes getting very close. Got the snowball, the rollover onto Anna, the walrus punch up into the air. They turn around with the flat cannon. They'll be able to get a kill before they eventually end up losing the gyrocopter. So V-Tune gonna be able to finally get himself his revenge over here.
Such a good silence there coming out by V-Tune. He gets the silence over on the Winter Wyvern and is able to kill the gyrocopter because of that. So that was what they needed, I think, on Na'Vi. And they didn't even need to expend big ultimates for that kill, really. So they still have the black hole. They have 45 seconds until they have Dawnbreaker ulti. Oh no, Enigma.
Is under attack.
You know, sometimes that just happens. What can you do?
Yeah, stuck around a little bit too long there. He thought that they would back out.
Solo. Pinging it out. Start with the fissure. Don't have the Arctic Bird. They give the cookie though, so back off a little bit. Throwing out the gust, the turnaround over onto Zephyr. Is going to regroup with the rest of the team. They don't have the Enigma to be able to be a part of this fight. In fact, we're seeing right away now Solo's going to be able to make it out in time. Yes, he is.
Just TP out and you're fine. The Fissure was on cooldown and the homing missile not fast enough. I like that Na'Vi are respecting the tombstone when it goes down. Don't fight under a tombstone because it would be very difficult to win that fight. Even though it's only level 2, it makes such a big impact. If you don't have great heroes clearing it, if Undying is zoning out the Drow Ranger. And look at T1 making another rotation.
This aggression coming out from them. All right, a good gust with silence, but be able to just get the launch up over onto V2. They have so many ways of closing this gap right now. In fact, in comes Solo, but he's just a little bit too late now as he's going to have to pull himself away using that hammer.
Yeah, talked about how good heroes they have to send in. I mean, you have a Shaker, you have Undying. Even Gyrocopter could maybe be a good send-in at some point with this Gobble Up. The Aghanim's first item is definitely a huge power spike here for T1.
Is under attack.
So you have the Wraith Pack completed for the Enigma, and we have the Earnest. So we're going to the Blink Dagger next, because I feel like they've been playing so defensively, they want to get more offensive. In fact, Sweet and Strong, oh, again, he is the frontliner at this time. Whitemon waiting patiently over onto the side. They split up very nicely, though, because they don't want to end up falling. As now Whitemon fighting with Sweet and Strong, he's still going to be able to get that kill, despite the fact he's saying Solo. Cookie forward over onto Lace. He is not looking healthy. He's not going to be able to get this black hole off at all.
Yeah, and where's Noah? During all this, he was not even there for the fight, so he's not able to be there and help. I think really this Ember Spirit is the strongest hero they have right now. Na'Vi, they need to fight around him, but they get caught out a little bit by T1's aggressive positioning. They're very oppressive, and look at the wards that they're placing too. Deep wards behind the enemy tier 2 tower, so that they have vision to make these informed decisions. They also have one in front of a tower, so right around mid, they are very strong at fighting right now.
So how does this play in the next minute or so for Na'Vi? Is this just going to be as much as possible, try to dodge, try to keep farming up, or do you think that they should try to put some pressure down over onto T1 if they're able to get this black hole?
I feel like they need to send Dawnbreaker over to a side lane as well and just shove lanes more. Ember's here trying to fight.
3 over in the corner. Again, they don't have a Blink Dagger yet for the Enigma, so this makes it a bit more difficult for them to get that perfect positioning. Although no one getting a little bit too far ahead here, having to be a bit careful. We'll go for the slight. Zephyr sitting very low. Walrus punch comes through. They'll get the kill now. Follow with that slow, with the call down. Cuckoo continuing to just throw out the decay. Does have the flesh golem available if he wants to try to pop it. Thompson with those kisses going to force them away. Won't be able to relax in that little patch of grass. Those seeds of serenity. So just throw out some of that harass and they will reset on both sides.
They back out in the end. Not too much happening from that trade, but Na'Vi managed to fight off T1 a little bit and get space access into their own jungle here and sometimes a farm. It feels like nothing is free in this game. Every second that they want to get for V-Tune to farm up, they have to fight for it. They have to pay for it. And that's what we expected when we saw T1 drafting these heroes. These are hyperactive early game lineups. And we can see Gobble Up.
You're looking. Uh-oh. Cuckoo's like, guys, please follow up. Please help me. Cookie going forward. That's going to end up using that cold embrace. Keep him alive a bit longer. Sweet and strong. Follow up with the curse. Maybe not necessary there, but they still managed to kill Cuckoo. Not looking so healthy, though, as he is going to die. The buyback now coming out from Sweet and Strong. They join in. They've already used that Solar Guardian. Now, no one leading the charge. Seeing Thompson. They don't have the Cookie available just yet, so he's going to finally end up folding here.
Jara as a BKB is ready to fight, but I think he's respecting the black hole a little bit as he has two teammates dying already, especially when Thompson is dead. Maybe it's wise to just back out of this.
Might need to be a bit careful here. Throwing out the fissure, does have the Echo, will go for it, and that's a double kill for the patient Whitemon.
Wow, that ward, the ward that Whitemon placed just before this led to a beautiful double kill there. What a play. His positioning was clean. Ana was close enough as well to help with the damage. But he almost solo killed him on Shaker. He was just in a great position.
Go and see that replay again.
Yeah,
just look how patient there. They walk right past the ward, like you said. The call down, the fissure, the echo, and all the damage. Pretty nice stuff here.
Na'Vi getting a little bit too ambitious there. They did manage to reclaim quite a bit of territory, and look how much they have warded their own jungle. They're recognizing that T1 are very invasive and they want to try and get rid of them, so they have 4 wards just protecting their own jungle, trying to create an area where they can farm up. Meanwhile, V-Tune, of course, trying to sneak some split push.
Radiant's bottom
I feel like every time I go and I look at these supports plus Thompson, I guess Cuckoo is there too. Yeah, just launch Cuckoo over at solo. This poor Dawnbreaker is just not finding any space to breathe. But they're just so grouped together, and it's really fun to watch. They're just being super aggressive, pushing Na'Vi out to the side of the map. Now, is there a specific item that you think would really help Na'Vi in particular with these fights? I mean, I know the Blink Dagger is pretty important, but again, having to be very considerate about your positioning when you're dealing with Zephyr on this Winter Wyvern.
I think the timing is going to be when they have double BKB. They just finished BKB on Drow Ranger. I think they need one on Ember as well. There are so many ways he can get caught out, but they want to contest Roche.
It's fine. Again, they just don't have an easy way to get into this pit with this Enigma.
Yeah,
Back
Enigma.
off. They've already used the Tombstone.
Oh, Blink is coming in right now. He's smoked up. Oh. That's Black Hole Blink.
This is big. This could be so huge for the side of Na'Vi if they can get the initiation, if they find the opening. But again, both teams smoked up. Will reveal Ana. They can see that opening, making their way forward towards the pit. Cuckoo. Smoke will pop. This Roche sitting so incredibly low. Another smoke getting used. They want to use this just big power spike. Slice sits very far back.
They don't have Undying ulti anymore. Like that time down, now it's Na'Vi trying to steal Roche here. This is very cheeky.
This is pretty crazy. Whitemon throwing out the fissure will land over onto no one. But there it is. There's the Roche. It's going to be V2 who picks it up. They've got the silence over onto Cuckoo the BKB. But again, Winter's Curse coming into play. Going to slow down V2. But now this means that if they go for a black hole like this, they have nothing over here to really stop in case. But they follow up with those kisses, putting the damage down. A nice long-range fissure coming out. Cuckoo barely staying alive here. Is he going to be able to make it out? Ooh, 17 hit points.
Wow, it was really low. That was some really nice positioning by Na'Vi in the decision to take Roche. I'm surprised that T1 backed out as much as they did, considering they brought Roche on really low. And then they just backed out and left that area. They were being zoned back, of course, and with a smoked Enigma, they had to expect him.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
next time,
that's a dead solo. And an Echo Slam down.
Yeah, you don't really need Blink Dagger when you have an Aghanim Snapfire on your team. He had that shard first on Shaker in this game, but already has 1,000 gold. Thanks to Snapfire enabling his team so much with his Aghanims. It's really a Thompson special. He played this very early when Snapfire got this Aghanims.
Bounty.
I would argue it's almost even better in some ways, right? Because you're also doing the extra damage with that gobble up when you launch your Shaker in there.
Range too. You can send people flying, and also while you're mid-air from Snapfire, you cannot be silenced or hit by abilities. You don't really like exist yet, and then you land and you're there. So Drow can't stop it with something like Gust.
Pretty valuable when you consider they do have ways of being able to kind of interrupt.
He has a full Orchid on Zephyr now. That is really useful for them, and hopefully for Ember, he is going to have his BKB very soon.
Nice deny from Zephyr. He's managed to deny the double damage rune from the bottom area.
Yeah,
This is still just a tight game.
Both teams are playing in a very contesting manner, but I think now Na'Vi, having this Aegis, want to try and open up the map a little bit. They still have yet to take a single tier 1 tower from the side of T1, and I'm not sure T1 can defend if they get pushed bottom. They are an aggressive team though. They might want to. They're moving over.
I think they do. You've got an Orchid picked up over on your Wyvern. You've got the Winter's Curse.
Dire are scanning.
Nah, they're bailing out. Yeah, they're recognizing this fight would be very difficult since there's a fresh BKB on Ember, there's BKB on Drow along with the Aegis, and of course Enigma having that blink. And he's working on his own BKB now, so I think Na'Vi are slowly getting more and more of an advantage here and going into the mid game in a good way.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Cuckoo up over on top of the eye spot. That's for BKB, like we talked about, over on no one. They'll go use the Winter's Curse just to buy a bit more time, try to waste some of that BKB duration. Another slide over onto Zephyr, but he's got the Cold Embrace. As now, Na'Vi, they'll back off.
So big to be able to force out the BKB just by an Orchid from the Winter Wyvern, right? Like, this is just impact that you might not expect from a support like this, but the fact that he chose to go for that as his first item, I think it's working out really well for him here.
And that is something that T1's always hasn't been afraid of, is trying things a little bit differently and adjusting, doing these dynamic builds to suit whatever they need, which is why I think Topson fits quite nicely with this team, because it is a bit more innovative in some ways.
Yeah, meanwhile on the side of Na'Vi, we see a little bit poorer supports overall, but Dawnbreaker is getting some farm. He's ambitiously hoping to get the Aghanims in this game, along with Holy Locket that he already has. He would have a very, very strong source of healing. And it can be a good way to save people when the Winter's Curse comes out. If you time it towards the end, you don't... Well.
That's true. Yep, time it just right, though.
Yeah, I mean, jump in too early and that's going to be bad. But if you have Aghanims, it's a very long duration, so you can honestly start it super early.
On this mid tower, though, going down very, very quickly.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Na'Vi getting some access to new farming grounds. This is Vinland. There's more farm to be had over here.
They're looking for this opening. Get the launch off, follow up with the silence, so sweet and strong. Not going to see where Kuka does pop that BKB. And again, Na'Vi just backing off after this.
Bit of an early pop on the BKB there, but better safe than sorry, I suppose. However, there's not too many things outside of Enigma that he has to worry about that's gonna like instant disable him. I suppose the Tusk was already being gone on, so you can't get jumped by him. But they do have a lot of stuff ready right now on the side of T1. I think they want to make some move. Everybody's sitting around mid. Looks like they want to go for a smoke perhaps after they push this creep wave.
Now this is an interesting choice because the Aegis just got reclaimed over on V2. Then they're still opting to go for that smoke play. They've got the black hole, they've got the blink dagger, and they're just kind of generally hanging out in the area trying to see, you know, is there anybody who's going to be coming for us? Because we don't have it. In fact, Anna's going to be the first one who pops the smoke, and he goes forward, sees himself solo. V2 though, getting into position, throwing out a couple of frost arrows. You have to be careful. Lace waiting super patiently, hoping that they group up. It's going to be called down over onto V2. He's going to be able to walk away. They will launch a creep, but there's the BKB used on the Drow. They're not happy at this positioning coming out now. They don't want to have to deal with solo. Not going to be lucky though. That Fissure coming through, canceling out the TP. He's going to be the one who dies out of all this, but V2 will survive. And there's another just immediate smoke coming out from the side of T1.
That blink in behind the lane, he didn't have any fear on Ana. He just went in, and I like the confidence that they show there. They want to be aggressive early on here because the later the game goes, the more it's going to be like just favoring Na'Vi due to the draft that they have. I think the Enigma is a hero that you cannot sleep on. You need to be aggressive early, and they're now moving for a tier 2 tower that would really give them access to top tower or the top jungle, with the outposts going to go their way.
Even more control of the map.
Yeah.
We were talking about earlier how it was a bit difficult for T1 to be able to push these towers, but they've hit that point. They've hit the momentum where they can easily put the damage down, and they can also just position their supports and tops and to take advantage of the maximum space that they're getting.
Yeah, so many players on Navi were actually in the jungle or not showing on the map that T1 backed out a bit there, hesitant to take the tier 2 tower yet, but now they finally see that there's some push coming in bottom, and of course they've been seeing the Ember pushing mid. They're gonna go for a tier 2 and finish it.
Dire's top tower
right,
has
well.
fallen.
Tier 2 down, that opens up the outpost. That means they have complete control over the Dire side of the map when it comes to the top area. So it's going to make things a little bit more difficult. It means that, you know, we are already seeing no one. He's going for that riskier farm because he is the one hero that does have an easy escape, provided he doesn't get jumped on by Zephyr with the Orchid and whatnot.
Yeah, the scary thing for him would be a chain stun by like Zephyr using ulti and then like Shaker following up with chain stun and him dying to just gyrocopter or snapfire during that time. But he can of course be quite aggressive, and now he's very close to Aghanim's due to farming like 4 creep waves in a row on mid lane behind tower there. And he's going for it again, I think. He wants to just keep cutting the waves. But now there's a lot of heroes around.
And up over here, but they don't have any smoke.
Such a good move by him to just cut the wave like that over and over. It makes it hard for T1 to get on the map. There's a huge emphasis in high-level Dota to shove the lanes in, and then your options open up and you can make moves. But by constantly pushing bottom with Tusk and Enigma and then having Ember just go clean up the mid lane over and over, it's been hard for T1 to make more moves.
You have a completed Aghanim Scepter on Ember now, and Navi, they group up over on the side. They go for the smoke. They're going to try to bait. I'm not sure if they quite caught that, though.
BKB Black Hole is such a huge threat right now.
What a hit here with that one spit. Following up, though, BKBs are going to get used. Thompson trying to fight. Sweden Strong is going to get saved in the nick of time with a little bit of that heal. Not sure it's going to be quite enough as he does manage to die, but takes someone out along the way. There's going to be the buyback now from Sweden Strong going in with the Solar Guardian. Just trying to keep alive, trying to move people around. The blink forward, though, again, as you've got Drow Ranger with that Shadow Blade. They didn't have the detection over on Ana.
The fight just became too split up. Like, it covers too big of an area, and that's problematic for Navi. They want to have a clustered fight due to Dawnbreaker, even Drow Ranger with multi-shots, and of course the Enigma being the huge one. He could not really find any profitable black hole there, and Ember just got caught alone. I think he expected to have Enigma with him, but Enigma was making a move wrapping around through the river, so he wasn't really near enough to save no one, and he just got caught out and ended up dying. They need to try and make the fights like more centered, but it's also hard to do so against Shaker and Wyvern. Your positioning has to be so crisp.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's just very difficult for Lace to find the opening to get these black holes off because, you know, you always want to go for the full duration if possible, but you have too many. Have to be careful of. And now with the Wyvern picking up a Blink Dagger, Zephyr already is having just incredible positioning, but now it's going to be so much easier for him to sit just far back, wait for the initiation to come in and be that counter. You just got to be patient about it.
Yeah, really the story is, I mean, why no one got caught out is because he's diving in looking for that Wyvern. Wyvern is the key hero. Oh, we got to see Solo dying here.
There's the launch with that Orchid. They have so much damage. Solo never stood a chance.
What I was going to say is that this Ember Spirit has a job. He has one job, and that is to find Wyvern, because he's the only one who can cancel the BKB Black Hole right now from Enigma, except of course just straight up killing him. But it is difficult to do so with the positioning of T1 being so spread out.
Roche is up. And they're just chewing through it so quickly. Again, they did have a double damage.
And a shard on Undying. Undying Shard plus Tombstone, you generate so many zombies. You kill Roshan, he could even solo it, but of course it's a lot faster when you have a DD Jara helping you.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Curious now to see how Na'Vi responds to this.
Never refuse good.
Again, no one doing a great job. He's cutting these waves. He's making sure that he's taking the more dangerous farm. But I'm sure it feels very bad to be having to play this defensive. But now with an Aegis picked up too, I don't know if Na'Vi, like, what options do they have? All right, there's an option right there. As we talked about, no one trying to get in there, trying to get the kill on Zephyr. Does manage to take out both of the supports very, very quickly. BKB getting popped on Cuckoo. Ana waiting nearby is just gonna blink away. Not without these two supports. It's too dangerous, it feels.
What a Chad play by no one. Just going in, executing both the supports almost completely by himself there as well. That was a really nice play. I think he initially just wanted to go in to try and smoke reveal, but he ended up just murdering both the supports because they were clustered next to each other. And he has the shard as well. Yeah, look at this
the
play.
replay.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Through
attack.
the initiation, but then the immediate response coming out from the Ember. Top of the BKB realizing that it's gone into quite a few of these heroes.
Radiant's
And
middle
those were the
tower
two
is
that, you know,
under
you had to be careful. I'm sure Lace is really upset, like, oh man, that was my time. That's what I could have gotten. That perfect black hole. Both of the people that are very much the concern were gone thanks to no one, but
Yeah, they also take this time. After they win a team fight, they immediately go in and drop a ward on the Radiant high ground near the Ancients. So they have both a ward on mid and a ward on the Ancients. They're trying to keep check on what's going on. Right now, they don't see anyone. Very suspicious. So they're going to back up, feeling the smoke gank.
and they know that the BKB on the Ember is going to be back up in just a couple seconds, but hoping that they get a little bit too comfortable on the side Na'Vi, but no one is showing in any of these lanes. It's very spooky indeed.
Yeah. The Ember Spirit Shard is also something very big, by the way, in these fights. It adds a lot of extra damage, and getting those remnants back when you get kills, it allows him to dive in more aggressively for his supports, and if he gets the kills, he gets more fuel to keep going, right? Getting those charges back.
Full Silver Edge over on the Drow. Kind of poking each other, trying to
Dire's middle tower is
get
under
as much information as possible.
Right now, Ana is
the
feeling
Aegis
ready
on
to
Ana.
fight with this Daedalus along with Aghanims. Even if you black hole him, he's going to be shooting. The side gunner will keep going.
How does this fight play out though? Because again, if you've got yourself an Aegis on this gyrocopter, you don't want to use everything on him right away, right? You want to have a backup plan. How
Certainly
do you
not.
initiate in this?
Ideally, you try and poke him from far away. Use stuff like multi-shot and ice shards in combination with sleight of fists to just deal damage without really hard committing. And then when he respawns, then you try and hard commit, dive in on the Wyvern, and let Enigma try and get the black hole over on gyrocopter. That's pretty much what needs to happen. But it's so rare that we get the ideal execution happening, because T1, of course, they also know what needs to happen from the point of Na'Vi, so they're splitting out.
And then Vizrun over on reconnaissance with it. Blaze will take over the outpost in the Radiant jungle.
Yeah. Right now, Na'Vi are building double Lincoln Sphere, by the way. They're trying to hard counter out the Winter Wyvern. So both Enigma and the Ember Spirit are going for a Lincoln Sphere. And it's an item that usually becomes stronger the more of them you have. If you have one Lincoln Sphere, it's like, oh, people can break it. But once you start getting multiple Lincoln Spheres, it can become really hard to play Winter Wyvern in this game. Even though he has something like Orchid to break it first and then Winter's Curse, it's just going to be difficult for him to have the same impact.
And that is the Lincoln's complete now for Enigma, so he's gonna have a little bit of an insurance policy, so he can be a bit bolder in some of these fights as long as he does not get immediately silenced and stun locked. So perhaps we'll see a bigger team fight soon with this black hole.
Ana is queuing up a funny item in this game against Enigma. So he's actually going for Basher. And along with the Aghanim Scepter, you can bash the Enigma during the black hole. That's going to make it very troublesome to get this black hole off, because you know that you might just randomly get cancelled by RNG. It's a nice extra save for Ana. And who knows, maybe he gets a lucky bash on Ember and get, you know, a kill because of that.
That's actually so cool. Like with the forethought on that particular item, like, you know, most people would not consider the Ags in the basher, but I'm talking about, so. It'd be very sad for the Enigma if it ends up working.
He's queuing back into the Swift Blink first, but it's an item that's clearly on his mind, you know, with him putting it in the quick buy. I love stalking the quick buy of the players during a game. You can see their mind changing throughout the game, like, oh, I need this, no, I need this. You can see the thought process, gives you a little window into how they think.
It's funny you say that, because I did a lot of like South American casting when I first got started, and they would troll constantly. Like they would just put random stuff like Divine Rapier when obviously, you know, you're not going to see a witch doctor with a Divine Rapier. but they would just do that all the time. Like,
Oh, this is building up to be a fight here. They're coming in. Ember going in.
with the remnant, looking for Thompson. Thompson jumping away. Get the stun up over onto no one. He's still holding on to that BKB, so I don't know, that's a lot of damage. He's gonna go pop his own BKB as they'll get the toss over here. Solo gonna rejoin over with no one. Those Snapfire Kisses raining Hellfire down, but they've actively Delta split on the side of Na'Vi. It's a lot of BKBs and ultimates that just got used. They still are holding on to that black hole too.
Yeah, on the side of T1, they used both their BKBs for this. So I think no one's very happy with that aggressive jump in and just getting a little bit of information for his team. And they still have BKB ready on both Drow and Enigma. So Na'Vi could look for a fight.
That's Zephyr hiding over here in the corner. He's got himself a shadow amulet now.
Survivability is going to be what he adds. Finally, Ana, he was thinking about the Basher, thinking about Swift Link, but he goes back for the full Satanic purchase here. So now it's going to be very hard to bring down in one go.
One might argue it is already difficult to bring him down in one go.
Yeah, for sure. And now he's going to be super survivable. But it goes both ways. I mean, over on the side of Na'Vi, this Dawnbreaker ulti, the moving ulti from the Aghanims and then having the Holy Locket as well, he does a lot of healing. As well as the mischance, of course. The 60% mischance is really big since there's no MKB on Gyrocopter yet.
That is pretty huge. V2 completing that Scotty, so now they'll be able to counteract a little bit of that healing that's coming through, but just playing very carefully. They're letting no one be. Oh, okay. And Whitemon's courier, they know where they are now.
Dire's courier has been killed. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Courier. Queen's trying to reveal himself.
Dire's top
Follow
tower
up with Remnant. A little bit far of a dive here for no. Pops the BKB on it over onto the side. They finally get that black hole that they're looking for, and they do so much damage. They'll be able to get that kill. Zephyr falling over the back lines. Cuckoo, the next one to go down.
bottom tower is under
A
attack.
beautiful strike coming out from the side of Na'Vi as they
they got
finish
Thompson
off
too?
Thompson.
Yeah, they got so many there. That was, again, they're playing with confidence here, Na'Vi. The way they jump in with Tusk first gives enough vision that Ember Spirit can just dive in. And there's no good response for T1 right now. When Ember dives in looking for the Winter Wyvern, there's just chaos. T1 are scrambling position ways, and the moment he flies in like that, it feels like the fight is already
Radiant's
in a
middle
losing
tower
position.
is under attack.
When Enigma.
And just look at the amount of damage that they're able to
Radiant structures are
output.
fortified.
Those couple
Radiant's
pulses here,
middle
Solo
tower
jumping
is
in, and then
under
on the other side of the screen, you can see that Thompson just gets chased down by no one. That opens the space. They're able to crack it over on the side of Na'Vi.
Radiant's
Yeah,
middle
they're-
barracks
42
are
minutes
under
into the
attack.
game.
Yeah, they're finally gonna get the high ground push here, and it seems like Na'Vi, their draft is really working well for them, but they're also executing it so wonderfully. The way they dive in and understand the only threat that Enigma has in this game is Wyvern. He is the puzzle piece, and T1, they have to find a way to solve this. If they don't have the Winter Wyvern able to fight, then they cannot stop Enigma from just murdering whoever he wants, and it's gonna be Ana together with the Drow Ranger.
Are scanning.
So they need to find a way to allow Winter Wyvern to not get found by Ember, but it's so difficult.
I mean, it's pretty crazy to think, oh, look at this. They're actually keeping the Eye of the Vizier over on Winter Wyvern for that extra cast range.
Yeah, they also gave him ninja gear so he can smoke himself. He also has shadow amulet so he can go invis, which he used against the Ember there. All tools.
Feels like Zephyr has got to play a flawless sort of game here if they want to be able to get that counter initiation that they're looking for. No one waiting patiently off to the side. He's still smoked up. B-Tune positioning himself a little bit further away to reveal the Ember.
No black hole yet.
And the one remnant. Black hole just yet. 20 seconds. BKB, no one going in, following up with the water front to be able to hold B2 off to the side though, using the Winter's Curse. It's gonna be Cuckoo who ends up picking up that Aegis of the Immortal. So finally landing in. They'll get the kill over onto Zephyr. Cuckoo, that's gonna be the Aegis popping. Lace looking for this opening. He's gonna black hole in about 4 seconds, but Thompson's gonna be able to just zip away using that Wind Waker. They'll get the kill on Solo. And just like that, 3 dead over on the side of T1 with a very powerful strike coming out from the side of Na'Vi.
They have no buyback on either
Radiant's
Undying or
top tower is
Gyrocopter.
under
This is going to be
attack.
really difficult to hold any bit of your base remaining. The DD rune is allowing Drought to push super fast here. She was just sitting and laying in the damage there, having such good front line. She has 3 heroes just jumping in front of her, and she was able to just stand and shoot.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Though they'll pop out the fortification. I have to say, no one is just playing out of his mind here.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely my MVP for this game.
Radiant's
Like, he's playing so
tower
good.
is under attack.
It's rare that you'll see your Ember Spirit.
Radiant's
Yeah, he's just
top tower
hanging out
is
by
falling.
Whitemon. He's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure someone's here. Just follow up though, overall into no one. Has to be a little bit careful, but the snowball coming in hot. They're gonna follow him using that Wind Raker. There it is. There's the black hole over onto tops it over onto Zephyr. It's beautiful as they clean up. That's a double kill now. Whitemon buying back, wants to be hard here, trying to make sure that they don't get any more out of the space, but it's gonna be gosh darn impossible when you consider the fact it's just him and Cuckoo.
Yeah, they're gonna keep going. They realize that the respawning Gyrocopter can maybe...
Oh no, Cuckoo! Cuckoo in the corner, they see you. Spy back from the Winter Wyvern. Can they get anything else here? Looks like they're gonna put the damage over onto Sweden Strikes. Anna is back up and running, but over here, V2 just shreds through that tombstone. And now Zephyr, you cannot hide from no one. He is everywhere, all at once. The BKB coming out now from V2. They're going for the black hole, and they get the plenty of damage coming off. There it is. There's the GG call. Na'Vi playing such a patient game number 1 as they're able to take down the aggressive T1.
Beautiful. There were pressure coming in towards the end there. The black hole is going to seal the deal. And it seemed like Na'Vi did a great job just holding off. In the start of the game,